My parents chuckled when they said it. You'll never be as good as your brother. I stood up from the dining table and looked at them both. Then tell him to pay all the bills. I'm not sending money anymore. My mom's face went blank. What money? We never received a single dollar from you. That's when I knew this conversation was going to change everything. My name is Max. I'm 28, the oldest son, the steady one who keeps spare batteries and emergency cash in a Ziploc bag. I pay my rent on time, show up early, and bring folding chairs to family cookouts because we always run out. If you asked my parents to describe me in one word, they'd say responsible. The second word would be quiet. My younger brother Cole is the opposite. He's the star of every story, the one with a smile that gets him free desserts from waiters. He's the guy my parents love bragging about. Every family update turns into a Cole highlight reel. New job, new car, some friend in real estate who knows someone important. They recite his achievements like an incantation, proof that we're doing fine as a family because Cole is shining. I used to joke that I was the background music while Cole was the lead singer. The joke stopped being funny around age 22, when I was working double shifts and still showing up to fix their Wi-Fi and replace light bulbs because dad's back hurts and mom shouldn't be on a ladder. They never asked how I was. They asked what I could do. 2 months ago, we were at my parents' dining table for mom's birthday. The house smelled like lemon cleaner and roasted chicken. I brought a carrot cake from the bakery, the one with thick cream cheese frosting that mom likes. Cole strolled in late with no dessert, no card, just a grin and a story about almost meeting someone from a startup. Everyone laughed like he'd just won a prize. When gift time came, I watched mom gasp over Cole's silver earrings like she'd been handed the moon. He didn't say who paid for them. I don't know why I expected a thank you for the cake. Then dad refilled his wine, glanced at me, and said it, you know, Max, you'll never be as good as your brother. He chuckled like it was harmless. Mom chuckled too. The whole table joined in. Cole laughed the loudest. I heard it as a sentence, not a joke. I put my fork down. My cheeks burned. In my head, I started counting. 11 months of covering their electric bill when dad's hours got cut. 31 gas fill-ups after mom's car just needed a little help. 22 transfers labeled groceries because the fridge was empty and your brother is between paychecks. I counted like I was taking breaths. Don't be sensitive, honey, Aunt Rita said, watching me. I wasn't crying, I was calculating. Mom added lightly, we just want you to be more ambitious, that's all. I reached for my water. The glass shook a little. I told myself to swallow it, smile, make a joke, keep the peace, because that's what I do. But then Aunt Rita turned to Cole and said, you really are the man of the family. Mom nodded. Dad laughed softly. He's the one we can rely on. That word rely landed hard. It hit the part of me that keeps spreadsheets of due dates and bank transfers. The part that memorizes account numbers and Wi-Fi passwords and the exact model of their fridge filter. I didn't say anything. I helped clear plates, boxed leftovers, wiped the counter. When I grabbed my jacket, Mom hugged me without looking at my face and whispered, try not to be jealous of your brother. On my way out, Cole clapped my shoulder. Don't take it personal, man. Outside, their porch light flickered. I stood under it listening to them laugh through the window. I thought about the Venmo notification from that morning. $220 to mom for groceries. I'd sent it without thinking, like always. My phone buzzed. A text from mom, we love you. Bring paper towels next time. We're out. No heart emoji. No thank you. Just a list. I drove home in silence and sat on my couch staring at the receipts folder in my email, a weird hobby I'd been building for years. Little green check marks, $80, $115, $400, $900. It all blurred together. That night, I opened my banking app and scrolled. I realized the joke was on me, and in the middle of that realization, my screen lit up with a group chat notification. Family dinner Sunday, 6 p.m. Don't forget, Mom wrote. I stared at those words for a long time and felt something in me shift. The money had started when I was 21 and thought helping out was what good sons did. Dad called after a snowstorm, power bill's a little high this month. Can you spot us $120? I'll pay you back Friday. He didn't pay me back Friday, or ever, but he did ask again in February. By 24, it wasn't spot us anymore, it was routine. Every first of the month, $300 labeled utilities. Every third Sunday, $80 for gas. Random Wednesdays, $40 to $100 for groceries. It added up to roughly $650 a month for almost 4 years. There were also Cole emergencies that weren't emergencies. He needed $200 for a certification exam. His landlord was being difficult. Could I cover half his rent this month? He had a slow month freelancing. Cole always had a story. I always had a transfer. I tried to set boundaries once. I told Mom I couldn't send money until I rebuilt my savings. She sighed, "We'll die before we ask you again." That promise lasted 2 weeks. She texted a grocery list with a heart emoji. I sent $100. I took a day off work and made a list, dates and amounts for 2 hours. I printed 9 pages and put them in a cheap binder from the dollar store. Sunday came with heavy, pre-thunder heat. I parked 2 houses down and carried a grocery bag. Showing up empty-handed is how you lose the argument before it starts. Paper towels inside. Dad opened the door looking stern. Mom sat at the table with a calculator and stack of envelopes. Cole leaned against the counter scrolling his phone. Finally, Mom said brightly, "We were just talking about our plan." "Great," I said, setting the bag down. Dad tapped his calculator. "We've been doing the numbers. With interest rates and inflation, we need a family approach. Everyone contributes monthly until things stabilize." "Everyone," Cole echoed, not looking up. I pulled out the binder and put it on the table. "Before we talk about a plan, can we talk about the last 4 years? Mom blinked. "What's that?" "Receipts," I said. "Money I've sent for utilities, groceries, car repairs, rent, all of it. I might have missed a few." Dad's mouth tightened. "Max, this is not the time to play accountant." "It's exactly the time." Mom reached for the binder, flipped a few pages, and frowned. "What money? We never received a single dollar from you." The room went quiet. Not thinking quiet, gaslighting quiet. I didn't raise my voice. I slid my phone across the table, opened my bank app. The transfers are there. Notes, dates. If you want, I can print statements. Dad pushed the phone back like it burned him. "This is disrespectful." "What's disrespectful is rewriting my life while asking for my checkbook." Cole finally looked up. "Dude, why are you making this weird? It's family." "Exactly," I said. "Family doesn't deny reality when they're caught. Family says thank you." Mom's eyes flashed. "After all we've done for you, you're going to throw money in our faces?" "I'm not throwing it, I'm acknowledging it." I took a breath. My hands were steady. "You've depended on me for years. You've called me dependable, then laughed about me being quiet while handing me the bills. Today, I'm not quiet." Dad leaned forward. "So what do you want? A medal?" "I want boundaries," I said. "No more monthly transfers. No more emergency Venmos. If you need help, you ask in advance and accept no for an answer." Cole scoffed. "Then tell him to pay all the bills," I said, turning to Dad. "If I'm never as good as my brother, let the golden child be the safety net." Mom stood up. "How dare you pit brothers against each other?" "I'm not," I said calmly. "You did that a long time ago." The air felt heavy, but my heartbeat didn't. It felt slow and even, like a metronome. "This isn't about revenge," I added. "This is about closure." Dad's jaw worked. "So you're cutting us off?" "I'm ending a system that's been bleeding me dry," I said. "I'm not your bank, I'm your son." Mom stared at the binder like it might bite. "We never asked you to. You exaggerated. Those were gifts. You love us." "I do," I said. "And loving you cannot mean bankrupting myself financially or emotionally." Cole laughed once. "Sharp, whatever, man." I picked up the binder, slid the paper towels across the counter, and headed for the door. "Max," Mom called, "don't walk away. You can't just." "I can," I said, hand on the knob, and I am. My phone started buzzing before I reached my car. 12 missed calls, then 18. By the time I pulled into my apartment parking lot, 31. I put the phone face down and made pasta. I ate standing up, staring at the binder like it was radioactive. When I finally checked my messages, I had 47 unread texts. "Mom, you're confused. Come back and talk this out." "Dad, you owe us the respect of a conversation." "Aunt Rita, money isn't everything, sweetheart." "Cole, you really think this makes you the hero?" I didn't reply that night. I turned off notifications, cleaned my sink, and went to bed at 9:30 like the most boring rebel alive. I slept 8 hours for the first time in months. The next day, the narrative machine started. A cousin texted, "Heard you blew up at dinner. You okay?" My grandmother left a voicemail with 2 full minutes of sighing. Dad wrote a group message about entitlement and forgetting where you came from. What surprised me was how quickly the story changed. Messages shifted from "we never received money" to "we never asked for money" to "those were gifts" to "you never said it was hard." I took screenshots of each version, not to send, just to keep myself from doubting my memory later. At work, I backed up the binder as PDFs, Then I did something small that felt huge. I opened my bank app and canceled 3 recurring transfers. The app asked, "Are you sure?" I hit yes. My chest felt both empty and light. The calls kept coming for weeks. Mom alternated between sobbing and sounding like customer service. "We can start fresh. Let's just agree on a number. Maybe $300 a month." Cole sent me a Venmo request for $400 with the note rent. I declined it. He sent a question mark. I didn't answer. Aunt Rita invited me to coffee, not an ambush. I promise. It was an ambush. She opened with rehearsed kindness. "Let's not burn bridges over a misunderstanding." "What misunderstanding?" I asked. "You embarrassed your parents. They feel attacked." "They felt attacked by math," I said. By Friday, the tone changed. The group chat pinged, "Family meeting Sunday." I typed "I won't be there" and sent it before fear could edit me. Mom replied instantly, "You think you're better than us now?" I muted the chat. Little practical changes followed. I set up a savings transfer with the same dates and amounts I used to send them. Watching $300 slide into my own account on the first of the month was like unlocking a window. I booked a dentist appointment I'd been putting off. I called a therapist and said, "I need help untangling guilt from responsibility." The temptation to explain buzzed in me constantly, to send long, calm messages with screenshots and numbered lists. I didn't. Explaining to people committed to not hearing you is performance art. 2 weeks in, the calls slowed, the guilt didn't, but it got quieter. Then the spin went public. A neighbor sent me a screenshot of Mom's post. "Raising kids is hard when they forget your sacrifices. Some people think everything is about money." Cole posted an Instagram story of new sneakers with the caption "self-made." I almost laughed. Here's what I know now. I can love my family and still refuse to finance their denial. I can be dependable without being a doormat. I can say no without adding a paragraph to make everyone comfortable. I don't owe anyone my exhaustion. I don't owe anyone my savings. I don't owe anyone the version of me that makes their lives easier at the expense of my own. I'm not sending money anymore, not because I'm angry, though sometimes I am, not because I need them to suffer, I don't, but because I'm done pretending this is normal. If they ask for help in good faith, clear, specific, with respect, I'll decide case by case. If they try to guilt me, rewrite history, or make my boundaries the problem, the answer is simple: no. The binder is in my closet. I don't look at it often. It's not a trophy, it's a record, a reminder that I'm not crazy. When doubt creeps in, I flip to a page, read a few lines, then close it. I don't need to keep tallying, the math already did its job. Mom and Dad still text sometimes. They send photos of their dog. They don't say thank you for the years I helped. Maybe they never will. That's their story. Mine is different now. It starts with my name is Max, but it doesn't end with reliable. It ends with self-respect. I'm building new routines. Sunday mornings are for runs and pancakes. The first of the month is for moving money into my own savings. The third Sunday is for calling a friend and making plans I don't cancel. The binder stays shut. If I had to put it in one line, the line I wish someone had given me at 21, it would be this: you can't let anyone turn your love into a bill. And here's my promise to myself, simple and solid: I won't let them.